Hi, my name is Caroline Ouellette. I'm a 4-time Olympic gold medalist in hockey. RCL teams, it's a pleasure to spend time with you and share with you my Olympic journey. I'm often asked, why hockey? As long as I can remember, I was in love with the sport. At age 7, I started by playing baseball with the boys in my neighborhood in Montreal. And I realized that all of them were playing hockey in teams in the winter. So I asked my parents to play. My dad said no. It took me 2 years to convince them. Finally, it's my mom, an independent and strong woman, that brought me to the store to buy me my first pair of hockey skates. I started playing Adam C with the boys, the lower possible division that you can play in. But I was so happy to finally have the right to play that in my kitchen I would practice to dress head to toe, tie my own skates, do it again and again and again. 1, because I was so happy, but 2, because I also wanted to prove to the boys whom I was playing with that I belonged with them and that I knew what I was doing. I played with the boys from 9 to 17 years old. All those years, I was the only girl on my team. I heard about every possible name calling. Tomboy, go back to the kitchen, you shouldn't play hockey. And it hurt at the time. But I always remember what my dad once told me, Caroline, you don't choose what other people say to you, but you always choose your attitude. So I grew up trying to be a difference maker on the ice where I had the most control. I grew up on Team Quebec. At age 15, I played in the Canada Games, and then I made Team Canada under 18. I finally made the national team at age 19 to play in my first World Championship. My first Olympic Games were in 2002 in Salt Lake City. I was one of the youngest players on the team. During the preparation that year, we lost 8 straight games to the Americans. They had been together for 2 years in preparation for the Olympics. But that last 8 game, we dominated, yet we still lost. But something changed. We now believed we could beat them. When we got to the final game, I was so nervous, I don't even remember my first shift. The building was shaking, chanting USA, USA, USA. And I learned a very important lesson that day, to expect the unexpected. For us, it felt not only that we were playing Team USA, it felt like we were playing against the American ref that gave us 13 penalties, 8 in a row. As a young player on the team, I didn't play in penalty kill, but I still had a choice. I could sit on the bench and pout because I wasn't playing much, or I could choose to cheer on my teammates and give them as much energy as I could. And I'm so proud today to be able to say that I did exactly that. I realized after the game, no one remembers who plays, who even scored our winning goal, but Canadians still remember that game today, and they talk to me about the resilience whom we played with, killing penalty after penalty. That game was instrumental in my career in the sense that it forced me to want to get better, because I wanted to become a player that would play in every situation. But I needed to be a better hockey player, a better athlete. I needed to gain confidence in myself. And 4 years later in Torino in 2006, I became that. I was one of the young leaders on the team, and I had a great challenge that year. One day the coach called me in to tell me that I would become a defense player. I played forward all my life. Imagine changing position at the highest possible level. Not only that, now we found out that we were 9 competing for 6 spots on the team. I found out quick enough who my true friends were on the team. That was one of the greatest challenges that I faced in my career. I feel like sometimes we have a dream job and we think the line towards that is a straight line, when in fact, accepting different roles, different positions help you become a more complete athlete or team member, and it makes you better in the end. I became the glue between the defenders and the forwards, and I gained so much respect for that position. Everyone can play forward, but not everyone is good enough skater, good enough to read the game to defend at the highest level. That made me a better athlete, a better leader, and a better hockey player. The 2006 Olympic Canadian women's hockey team was one of the best on paper. We had a great mix of leaders and young players. Our slogan that year was take care of yourself, take care of one another. Why? Because only if you're well yourself can you take care of one another. It's really important that as an athlete you're in a good place so you can embrace, accept your role, and be happy for the success of others. That's at the root of what I do now as a coach, knowing my athletes, knowing what gets them going, what motivates them, and building a trust where when they are not doing well, they can come talk to me and open up. After Torino, I had the greatest opportunity to go to the Olympic Games in our own country in Canada. As an athlete in hockey, there's nothing better than that. We have the best fans, the best support. I knew since 2003 that we would host the Olympic Games. Since that moment, I wanted to be there. I wanted to be playing in the Olympic final game. I wanted to be playing Team USA to prove to the whole world that we had the best team in the world. In preparation to Vancouver, we beat the Americans 6 straight games. Some of the American athletes were telling the media that they would do what we did to them in Salt Lake City when we had lost 8 straight games but won the only game that mattered, trying to put even more pressure on us. Pressure is truly a privilege. It needs hard work, preparation, so you can grow and become the best that you can be for one single moment. As Olympic athletes, we don't have a best of 7 series. We have one single game where we need to show up as the best version of ourselves. For us, we felt like we were the best prepared team. We had played over 60 games in preparation for that Olympic gold medal game. I'll never forget the fans in Vancouver, people dressed in red and white all over the city cheering us on. In that final, we played one of the most perfect games, winning 2-0. Our youngest player, Marie-Philippe Poulin, scored our 2 goals. Our best players were willing to sacrifice, to block shots, to do whatever it took for us to be the best. I'll never forget celebrating with my friends, with my family that had made the trip to Vancouver. When I came back from Vancouver, I was telling everybody nothing is going to beat what we experienced there. We were part of 14 Olympic gold medals won by Canadian athletes. It was a record of the Winter Olympic Games. Never another nation had won as many Olympic gold. But I was wrong in the sense that Sochi exceeded everything that I'd experienced so far. Let me tell you that story. I knew it was going to be my last Olympic Games just because of my age. I wish I could still be playing hockey for Team Canada. That's how much I loved every day that I got to do that. But I knew it was coming to an end. And I made a promise to myself that I would enjoy every single day as part of the team, the hard and the fun days. I think it's easy to make that commitment when you start something new. But when you face adversity, when you face changes and obstacles, do you remain true to your own promise? And for me, I was really tested that year. It was a year filled with changes, with injuries, with unexpected things. We started the year well, winning 4 straight games, and then we couldn't win again. We lost 4 straight games. Our coach changed, and the leadership changed on that team. In one of the early meetings that year, I was told by my coaches that I might not be seen as a top 6 forward anymore. That was hard to accept. But they asked me to become the best leader that I could be for the team, help the young players feel confident and prepare, and make sure that I was the glue that would bring everyone together. And I embraced that role. I saw value in it, and I think it allowed me to be the best possible on the ice and off the ice. Taking on that responsibility and that challenge gave me the greatest responsibility and privilege of my career to become captain of the Olympic team. Change is the only certainty in life. And for me, I became captain of a team where the older captain was still on the team. Imagine becoming the boss when your boss is still on the team. It was difficult. It was a great challenge. But I knew I was becoming captain for the player and the athlete and the leader that I already was. I didn't need to change. I needed to remain who I was. The support that I felt from my teammates gave me a lot of confidence in that new role. I embraced helping others, making sure that everyone felt ready to be the best that they could be. When we got to Sochi, we faced one of the most unlikely final game. We were down by 2 goals late in the game with 3.5 minutes left to go. We scored the first goal. It gave us a little bit of belief that we could come back. All that season, our team had to fight until the end to come back in games, to win games. We had survived a coaching change and all kinds of injuries. So it built a team that was really resilient, a team that had refused to give up. When we tied the game, I knew nothing was going to stop us in overtime and we would win. But when the puck went down and hit the post, that was one of the most unlikely moments. It was like a movie that we were part of. I'll never forget that. Still today, all Canadians remember what they were doing and where they were when they watched that game. It's incredible to be part of a moment in sporting history where everyone remembers where they were. After the game, we found out that 13 million Canadians watched the game. And I think the greatest legacy that that team will leave is thousands and thousands of young boys and girls that will dream to go to the Olympic Games or that have taken a love for hockey. For me, after, I knew that was the end, and I was petrified of the moment where I would need to retire. But I also knew I wanted to become a mother. So in 2017, I welcomed to the world my daughter, Liv. 2 months later, I was back on the ice playing for the Montreal Canadiens. And I realized that I didn't want to be there anymore, that I was ready to transition out of my sport. But it was hard to find value in something else. All I could describe myself was the hockey player. And I realized that I also love coaching and mentoring and helping others. And now I like to say that it's the second best thing after playing. So I became a hockey coach. And I think we always have the choice to mentor others around us, to help others. And I realized that when we choose to do so, others are always willing and ready to help us. When I became a coach, I realized I had a lot to learn. My style as a player was really focused on performance, on results, on winning at whatever cost. And I realized that coaching is not about that. What we do is human relations. What's important is getting to know our athletes, getting to know what motivates them, what gets them going, getting to know each individual, building trust, so when they're not well, they come to see you and they're willing to talk about it. I had to change completely my leadership style. I coached over the last 5 seasons at Concordia University, and I learned a lot there about team culture. A culture is so important to have success. It's never still, it always evolves, and one person or one event can change everything. At Concordia, our team motto is team first, and everything is earned. What team first means is that you're going to have a positive attitude. In everything that we do, we always choose our attitude. We choose the energy that we give around us, that we give in the spaces that we enter. Team first is working hard and competing. It's not enough to just work hard. You have to want to compete and win everything that you do. That's how you get out the best from one another. The last thing is accepting your role. And that's a hard challenge as well, because we don't choose our role. The coach, the boss will choose it for us. But we always choose our attitude, and we always choose to become the best that we can be at that given role. Having a strong team culture helped us have success at Concordia, where we won 2 national championships in 3 years. But still today, as a coach, I have the mindset that I'm a forever student of the game. I want to continue to grow, to learn from other coaches, to share my knowledge, to have mentors that help me become a better coach. I also learn a ton from my athletes. I love what I get to do every day. For me, it doesn't feel like work. This season, I'm taking on a new challenge. I'm going to become an assistant coach with Montreal La Victoire in the PWHL. It's a dream come true. To see one true professional women's hockey league is something I strived all my career for. Over the last 2 years, with the creation of the PWHL, is the first time that women can be playing hockey full-time. It's incredible to see the sport continue to grow and how far we can go. I think that to be sure that young girls can continue to dream to play hockey professionally, we have to make sure that we are the greatest supporter of our sport, that we go to games, that we watch it on TV, so young girls and women everywhere can dream to become pro hockey players. I think I'm the proof that when you have dreams and you work hard at it, anything is possible. Yes, I started Adam C in hockey, but I made it all the way to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Because I believed in myself, I surround myself with great people that pushed me to the top. I think I'm the best example that when you believe in the possibilities, anything is possible. RCL teams, I wish you all the best. Work together, embrace change, embrace adversity, Know that it will make you better and stronger. All the best. Let's go.